All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something that I think a lot of you e-bike commuters out there can relate to.
Mhm.
It's that tension between this like really great way to get around,
Yeah,
efficient, fun, good for you, good for the planet.
right.
But then there's this anxiety that comes with being out there in traffic,
Yep.
especially when you have to deal with all those distracted drivers, right?
Totally. And actually, we found this report on how to apply Stoicism to e-bike riding, and it's got some interesting insights.
Yeah, so we thought let's dig into this, see if we can pull out some like core Stoic strategies that maybe you listening out there can use to make your commute not just safer, but like more resilient, maybe even a
Yeah.
little more peaceful.
Right, like how to find that calm amidst the chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, where do we even begin? Like, how do you apply, philosophy from thousands of years ago to like being on an e-bike in traffic?
Well, it starts with this really fundamental Stoic concept called the dichotomy of control. It's something that Epictetus talked about a lot. And it's this idea of understanding what's within your power and what's not.
Okay.
So, as an e-bike rider, you can't magically make drivers put their phones down,
Right. Right.
but you can make sure that you're highly visible. Wear bright clothing, have good lights.
Yeah. Make sure your bike is dialed in.
Exactly. And critically, like you control how you react when that person inevitably cuts you off or does something, unpredictable.
Yeah, and that to me is where it gets really interesting because it's not just about, okay, I'm wearing a helmet, I'm doing everything right.
Right.
It's that mental game of like not letting it get to you, which is easier said than done.
Well, yeah, and I think that's where this idea of virtue comes in. So the Stoics, they talk about virtue being the highest good, and there are four core virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Now, how do these show up when you're writing? So wisdom, that can be understanding that a certain intersection at rush hour is always chaotic, and so you approach it with extra caution.
Yeah. So it's not just seeing the car pull out in front of you. It's anticipating
Yes.
that that's a possibility because you've been there before.
Exactly, like you're drawing on your experience. Yeah.
It's a more proactive like awareness.
Yeah, and then you have justice. That's, respecting the rules of the road,
Mm,
signaling, stopping at lights,
right.
doing your part to create a safe environment for everyone.
Yeah, and that goes back to like not viewing other people on the road as your enemies.
Exactly. And then courage. Courage isn't about taking stupid risks. It's about maintaining your resolve to ride safely, even when conditions are less than ideal.
So if it's like ample rain and you still got to get somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. Or there's a lot of wind or.
Yeah, and then temperance. I mean, e-bikes, they're quick. They can really move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that instant power is great. But temperance is all about using it responsibly. Being mindful of your speed, especially in shared spaces, thinking about the pedestrians around you.
Right.
It's like,
Hey, it's not a race.
exactly. So all these virtues, it's about striving for them in every ride. And it becomes its own reward no matter what happens around you.
Right. Because that's the thing. You can't control what other people do.
Exactly.
And that leads us to, right, this idea of amor fati.
Yes.
This like loving what you can't change.
Accepting it.
Yes,
Yeah.
accepting it. And it's not about giving up. It's about this really mindful acknowledgement that things can go wrong. You're on the road, there are risks.
Right.
And accepting that actually frees up a lot of energy, right? The energy
Yeah.
that you might otherwise waste on getting frustrated about things you can't control.
Totally. It's like stop stressing about the stuff you can't do anything about.
Exactly. Like, Epictetus, he went through incredible hardship in his life.
Right. A distracted driver would have been just another external event, something he couldn't control.
Right.
His whole philosophy was about building this inner resilience. And the mental freedom, your ability to choose your response, that's something that even like really bad traffic can't take away.
I love that. Okay, so let's get practical here for someone listening who's like, okay, I get the concepts, but how do I actually like apply this tomorrow on my ride?
Yeah, well, the Stoics have some really concrete methods.
Okay.
So mindful writing, I think that's crucial. Being totally present, constantly scanning your surroundings, not lost in thought, not on your phone, not listening to,
Right, not distracted.
not distracted yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this thing called negative visualization.
Okay.
It's also known as premeditatio malorum.
Pre-Medi?
Premeditatio malorum.
Okay. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes. But the idea is it's not about dwelling on fear. It's about like briefly considering potential negative scenarios so you're better prepared and also appreciate your current safety more.
It's like a mental fire drill.
Exactly. So like, what if I get a flat tire?
Right.
What if there's a close call?
Right.
And then, don't forget to actually like cultivate gratitude for the ride itself.
Yeah.
Like really appreciate the fresh air, the exercise, the independence it gives you. This can really shift your focus to the positive things that you can experience
Right.
and be patient and understanding with, other people on the road.
Right.
Marcus Aurelius, he reminded us that people often act out of ignorance or their own struggles.
So it's not always a personal attack.
Exactly. It's not always about you. Yeah.
Okay.
And then finally, virtuous conduct, signal clearly, obey the traffic laws, be predictable. It embodies that idea of justice we were talking about, and it creates a safer environment for everyone.
So it sounds like it's not just about surviving the commute, it's about actually like shaping your experience of it.
Totally. Like, think about it. Your e-bike commute, it's like a microcosm of life's challenges. By
Mhm.
applying these Stoic principles on your bike every day, you're building resilience for dealing with bigger challenges in the rest of your life.
Right. It's practice.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. These guys, they use these ideas to navigate some really intense situations. So your daily ride, it becomes like a training ground for navigating the world with more inner strength.
I love that. Okay, so anyone listening who's thinking like, okay, I want to do this, where do I start? Like, what are some first steps I can actually take tomorrow morning?
Well, first thing, just start your day with a quick reflection. What's in your control today on your ride and what's not? You know,
Mhm.
just a little reminder.
Okay.
Then, during your commute, make an effort to be mindfully aware of your surroundings.
Right.
Before you head out, try that negative visualization we talked about. Just for a moment, consider those potential challenges. And then throughout your ride, actively look for things to appreciate.
Right.
Really focus on those pauses. And when you encounter those inevitable frustrating moments, someone cuts you off, whatever, just try to pause and choose a calm response.
Don't get road rage.
Exactly. And then maybe at the end of your ride, just take a mental note, like how did I navigate those challenges today?
Okay, cool. Any other quick exercises, kind of in that same vein that we could try?
Yeah, totally. You could try keeping a mental or like an actual journal and
Right.
just like throughout the day ask yourself, what is mine and what is not mine? What
Yeah.
can I control? What can't I control?
Right.
Or try this mental exercise called the view from above. Imagine you're looking down at your commute from a distance.
Okay.
It can help to give you some like mental clarity and perspective.
Kind of like you're looking at a map.
Yeah, exactly. And then always bring it back to your intention. Like, are you striving to ride safely and virtuously no matter what happens around you?
That's great. This is honestly giving me a whole new way to think about my own rides. And it's amazing how these like ancient ideas can feel so relevant to, modern life and riding these e-bikes.
Right. It just shows you how timeless this wisdom really is. So,
Hmm.
to everyone listening, out there on your e-bike, I'd encourage you to think about your commute as more than just getting from point A to point B. It's a chance to cultivate that inner peace and that resilience. And, by using these Stoic principles, you can take what's potentially a source of stress and really transform it into an opportunity to practice a more grounded, more tranquil way of moving through the world.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.